You are now listening to the NYYST
Podcast.
Welcome back. This is episode 208 of the NYYST podcast. I am your host, Christian, and it's Stat Guy Rye.
What up?
Chris is not here this week. No, the aliens did not come and take him. He's just he's having a little holiday celebration.
There
What
was
happened?
another alien. There was another alien report recently. There was some blue
Christ.
light somewhere. Apparently, a light sunk right into the ocean or something. I don't know, man. I think aliens might be the storyline of this year, 2021. Aliens.
So it's the day after New Year's Day. We're recording Saturday night, January 2nd. Chris is spending some time with the family, which is all good. Ryan is 7 out of 10 drunk, so this could get really interesting.
7. Mickey Mantle out of 10, babes.
So
You got a nice beard going, bro.
yeah, I shaved a day. I do this.
Yeah, I know. We're
Unfortunately,
friends
you know,
now. I know your things.
So I shaved the day after the Yankees got eliminated, and it's just been growing. So I'm really hoping that they don't push spring training back, because I got about another 6 weeks of this thing. I don't really want it on my face another day longer. If they push
So it's
spring
spring
training
training.
back,
Yeah.
I shaved pitchers and catchers. Report day I shaved. Try
Yeah,
to
that's cool. Good move,
cleanse last season. So we're hoping to cleanse 2020, and we can hope that we start the new year off right by you guys leaving us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. Please go ahead and do that. Get the new year off started off right with a nice 5-star rating and review on iTunes. We'll get that out of the way early, because we always seem to forget to do that. So this is our first show of 2021. We took a little. I thought Ryan was going to flash me that he's 7 out of 10 drunk again, but he's just showing me what year it is.
Nah, yeah. All right, at least you got it.
Yeah, we took last week off. We decided that we usually, longtime listeners of the show understand that we usually do take a little holiday break. There was a couple of things that happened as the week went along, which we'll touch on briefly, but we just want to wish everybody a happy new year. Hope everybody had a great holiday, a couple weeks with their families, and we can put the madness of 2020 behind us and start to look forward to 2021 and some baseball here. I guess we could start with we'll get this out of the way with a little DJ LeMahieu update, which is still that as we record here at 9:13 on Saturday night, January 2nd, he's still a free agent. Which
DJ LeDodger.
Yeah, I mean, as we signed off 2 weeks ago, we kind of expected that he still would be on the free agent market as we came back in 2021. But now you hear the big report, the rumor is that the Dodgers are in on him, which, Ryan kind of alluded to that. Ryan kind of alluded to that a few weeks ago, that the Dodgers, I mean, hey, you know what? If DJ LeMahieu is going to be sitting out there and you're a team like the Dodgers, why not check in on him?
Which is, that's kind of what I said, is that if you're not going to sign him, then all you're doing is you're allowing more time for the LA Dodgers to come in and swoop in. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think a lot of these recent rumors with DJ and the Dodgers, do you think that has anything to do with the Padres making moves for Darvish and friggin' Blake Snell?
Yeah, I mean,
is that like the Dodgers saying, "Hey, we need to we maybe need to improve this roster a little bit"?
I think it has more than anything to do with that Justin Turner's a free agent, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Excuse me, and I see LeMahieu as an upgrade over Justin Turner, even though I think they're about the same in age. I think they're both about 31, 32 years old. But if you're gonna move on from Turner, if you're the Dodgers, why not bring in LeMahieu? And he's the type of guy that, it would be a big splash to that fan base, especially after winning a World Series. So
Actually, Justin Turner is 36 years old.
He's that old?
To DJ LeMahieu, who's 32 years old.
Wow, I didn't think
he was that old. Very surprised with that, Christian. 36.
I am surprised.
Yeah,
I am very surprised. I didn't think he was that old at all. So I mean, it would make a lot of sense from the Dodgers' perspective to kind of say thank you to Justin Turner and turn the page to DJ LeMahieu, which
that's a nice page to turn to.
It's getting again, it's getting very frustrating from the sense that the Yankees haven't done anything of note. Let me bring this up. This is actually something that they did do.
Some minor leagues fucking two shoes douche.
Yeah, hold on. Let me bring up his name.
Take your time, man. It's
the guy.
Interesting.
He's an outfielder. Socrates. His name is Socrates Brito.
Philosopher.
Yeah, he didn't play in the major leagues last year. He last appeared with Toronto in 2019, wearing 43 plate appearances. He batted .077.
Hey, who's the last player from Toronto the Yankees swooped right up and it turned out to be a pretty damn productive player for us?
Who is this?
You can't say it?
Did I ban it?
Gio Urshela.
Okay.
21,000. Okay. So,
I mean, if the Yankees get Socrates, this guy Socrates to turn into
Machiavelli. Okay.
I mean, he's a left-handed bat.
Dude, you know how I like the lefties.
But I don't know what you can expect from him. It's organizational depth. Everybody's just, they're like, oh, you signed this guy, but you can't sign DJ. I think I think we all have to understand it's just a little bit different. Signing a guy.
Can we break down why the Yankees aren't going to sign DJ LeMahieu really quick?
You don't think they will, is what you're saying?
Well, because I'm looking at it this way, right? You could only have so many guys that are making 25+ million on your roster if you're really truly considering that luxury tax, right? So you already have two guys that are making 25+ in Stanton and Garrett Cole. How many more are you willing to really add on to that? And you have Gleyber Torres 2-3 years from now that you're going to have to think about paying. You have Aaron Judge that you're going to have to worry about paying. I really think the reason why DJ LeMahieu won't end up signing with the New York Yankees is because the New York Yankees are considering that luxury tax, and they're saying we need to pay certain guys 25+ million, and DJ LeMahieu, if we pay him now, we're not going to be able to pay an Aaron Judge, a Gleyber Torres down the line. That's my line of thinking, and why, if this guy truly doesn't end up with the Yankees, that has to be the reasoning. But who knows if they even sign those guys in the future? They'll come up with an excuse as to not sign those guys.
I think
it seems like that's the case for the last 3 or 4 years, that they have a reasoning for why they're doing what they're doing, and we justify it, right? We justify the rebuilding, the retooling. And now it's, what's the justification for this? It's going to be, well, they need the money to sign Gleyber Torres and Aaron Judge.
What are you going to do if that's your reason? What are you going to do?
You're going to try and maybe also, I don't know if I also think they're thinking, if we sign DJ LeMahieu now, then we can't sign a Francisco Lindor later.
So you're going to flush 2021.
Kind of, at least this. I'm flushing the 2021 off season. My battery's running low. I gotta plug in. I'm flushing the off season.
Yeah, you're flushing the off season, but I mean, who's gonna play second base for you? Who are you gonna bring in? We joke all the time about Tyler Wade. Tyler Wade he can't.
No, I'm not. Yeah, no, he's not the second baseman for the New York Yankees.
He's not the shortstop for the New York Yankees, because I know a lot of people are just going to be like, "Oh, well, then you slide Gleyber over." I honestly, I love Didi Gregorius. I really appreciate everything that he did here. You can't let DJ LeMahieu go and then say, "Here's Didi on a 1-year deal." That's not a consolation prize.
Is Didi plus a Michael Brantley a consolation?
Again, but we talked about this a few weeks ago. Michael Brantley is an outfielder. All right, Ryan, we bring in Michael Brantley, right? You
know,
tell me a
man, I know.
combination of Brantley and Didi. Am I okay with that? Probably, but then again, where is Brantley getting his ABs from?
Well,
Are you taking him away from Clint?
Who's our left fielder,
Are you
Christian?
is Clint Frazier not the left fielder?
Oh, Clint Frazier. Okay, you know, I had a little 7 out of 10 drunk brain fart.
That's what I'm saying. Is he
No,
not
you're
your
right.
left fielder?
So then, all right, you got Clinton left, center's Aaron Hicksey, Judge Ian Wright, Stanton's no.
And I know the popular retort is going to be, well, do you expect X and Y being Hicks and Judge to stay healthy? And not really, but I'm also not going to go into the season banking on that, saying, oh, you know, Hicks and Judge won't be healthy, so I'll bring in Brantley. He's going to get his at-bats that way.
It's tough. Do you maybe see a LA Dodgers swap at third base? Or not third base, but do you see maybe the Yankees looking at a Justin Turner?
I don't think he plays the middle infield.
No, he doesn't. He's locked in at third.
And
they don't need that if you're going with Gio.
Right. And Urshela doesn't profile as a middle infielder.
No, you're not going to really. I don't think they would want to change that.
So, but here's back to your point, which is, I understand where you're coming from. You're saying how many guys are you going to pay $25 million plus to?
Mm-hmm.
So if your rationale is you're going to sit this one out because Story, Correa, Lindor are younger, better, you're going to pay those guys a ton of money, right?
If I'm lining myself up with the logic of maybe what the Yankees are thinking, in my mind it would be, if we want to pay one more guy in the near future, and if it's between the free agent class of next year versus DJ LeMahieu this year, we're going with the class of next year.
And this is going to tie into something that we're going to bring up in a little bit. But why, I understand the age is kind of a factor here, but why not just give the money to a guy that you know how good he is and that he can handle playing here and that he's been your best player the last 2 years? Why don't we not worry? Why are we so worried about the end of the contract? Let's just worry about trying to win in the beginning part of the contract.
I mean, a large part of it has to be with the way that maybe some of these contracts have burned the Yankees in the past.
But it's not it's not really a long-term deal.
I know.
It's 5 years.
I know. I'm trying to find the reasoning why they're not, that this guy isn't a Yankee right now.
I'll tell you.
I mean, he's dude, a guy playing for the New York Yankees had 2 top 5 MVP finishes the last 2 seasons. That's not something that happens often. You got to lock this guy up.
There's 2 reasons why. Number one is because the Yankees, like many other teams, don't know where the revenue streams are coming from again in 2021, because we don't know if fans will be allowed in ballparks, which is, look, nobody's going to take up hand out a collection plate for Hal Steinbrenner. But if you're going to run a team like a business, the business and he's drinking wine now, this guy. He's already
sangria.
7 out of 10 drunk and he's still drinking.
Hey, I got if I don't want to fall down to like a 5 by the end of the pod, because then I'm going to be tired. I'm going to go sleep.
Did you ever see that episode of How I Met Your Mother where they try to find the perfect drink for Barney and Marshall when they were fighting with each other, and then they just went too far and they blacked out and forgot the whole thing? I feel like that's what you're trying to do right now. Is you're trying to stay at a level.
I've never blacked out. I don't think. Maybe once, twice.
Once, twice.
I don't remember.
3 times. What were we saying?
Dude, I had no idea.
I
had no idea.
I completely forget too.
I think that the reason why this guy isn't being signed is that the Yankees are worried about the damn luxury tax.
Right, that's what I was saying. Because if you think about it, right, if you're going to run the team like a business, businesses need to bring in revenue. It's easy for us as fans to say, well, Hal, you are worth X. Just put your own money into the damn thing. But, you know, that's not for us to say. And I don't want to be Yankee boy and say whatever, you know, like, oh, Steve Cohen. But what has Steve Cohen really done? He's talked a good game,
just
but has he really backed any of it up? Right?
Not yet. It
So
looks like there's a lot of rumors attached to the Mets still. Well, you know what?
that
This looks like it's gonna be an off season like 2 years ago or I think it was 2
but
years
right,
ago.
if the rumor from what I heard earlier in the week is that Springer wants 150 and the Mets don't want to touch it. Well, if
no.
you're so damn rich and you got so much money and you want to make a big splash, and if you're Steve Cohen, what's $30 million? You said he
no, I know that's what I said.
You said he paid $14 million for a painting that looks like a fart.
Yeah,
so,
I actually looked more into that. I think it's he has the world's richest painting collection. I think it's like $2 billion. He's got the most expensive Picasso. You know, he's a collector.
So he's still even trying to operate under financial constraints. Yeah. Okay. So why are we giving Hal Steinbrenner a hard time about it? I get it, dude. I don't want to hear about the luxury tax either. We were sold that bill of goods. Now it's time to cash in and win a World Series. I completely understand it. I don't want to hear it either. But if you're looking at it from a Hal's perspective, which again, I've said this on the show before, we've talked about this, irrational fan versus reality. As the irrational fan, I don't want to hear about the luxury tax. But in reality, Hal Steinbrenner's trying to run a business where he doesn't know where his money's coming from, or a large portion of his revenue stream is completely cut off.
It's up in the air.
So if you're Hal and you're saying to Brian Cashman, you know, maybe if we didn't have COVID in 2020 and COVID wasn't still here in 2021, maybe DJ would have been here and gotten his $22 million a year. But maybe now, because of where we're sitting with everything, Hal said to Brian, hey, you know what? Negotiate this guy. Get me a good deal on him. And if it really comes down to push and shove where I got to go somewhere, then I'll go somewhere. But I don't want to go there. Let's draw this friggin' thing out if we have to.
You're right, man. Honestly, the more you say it, the more we break it down. It's now that you say it, dude, it's not about the luxury tax as much as it is. Let's wait and let's play this thing out and let's see, because it's an unprecedented off season in terms of, you know, reinventing the terms of how you create revenue. This might just be a slow off season because it's owners waiting to see how other owners give out contracts.
And
guys like LeMahieu.
And who's been signed so far? Who's been signed? Who's the biggest name free? Charlie Morton. And he got what? He got like $12 million or something like that for 1 year.
I'll look it up, but not a long-term deal. It was a short-term deal. I think 2 years, right? Or 1 year.
I think he got 1 year.
1 year, 15 mil.
All right. So, I mean,
yeah, 1 year.
It's not a long-term investment. You give a guy his money in that. And the same. And why hasn't Real Muto been signed? Why did the Mets go with McCann over him?
Yeah, McCann, that's the other one that's been signed.
So until some of these guys start dropping, I mean, we're just gonna have to play the waiting game on this thing. You know, the last time we all got all freaked out about the Yankees not signing free agents was in 2018, and then they just dropped this guy DJ LeMahieu in our lap, and then he turned out to be the team's best player for the last 2 years, and a guy that a lot of people had never even heard of or really paid much attention to. So, I mean, if he goes somewhere else, as long, let's just, I guess the thing is you just have to put blind faith in the Cashman that he can bring that type of player in again, maybe a good player that can blossom here with the Yankees. Although he has to do something. I mean, the window on this team is closing, and it's closing faster than a lot of people want to think or admit that it is. So something you can't wait. You bring in Garrett Cole, you can't waste one of his prime years waiting for another season. So something has to be done. If DJ LeMahieu prices himself out of the Yankees, prices himself out of being a Yankee, you got to do something. And it can't be, sniffing around the clearance rack at Marshalls. You can't do that. You want to tell me that you want to go make a trade for Francisco Lindor? That's fine. Go do it. But then also, don't cry poor to DJ LeMahieu and then bring in Lindor, knowing that you have to sign this guy to an extension to give up the prospects that is going to require you to get them.
No, you can't cry poor. Can't cry poor.
Because this is the thing that a lot of Yankee fans don't understand. And, you know, everybody freaks out that Blake Snell got traded to the Padres. In what world are we living in that Blake Snell would have been traded to the Yankees?
Oh, Jesus Christ. The asking price for a division rival? Forget it.
And think about it.
Thank God. Good riddance. Good riddance.
Right. And think about that too. Think about what, let's say Tampa was open to trading with the Yankees, right? What would that price tag have looked like?
Not more. It would have been Dominguez 100%. I mean, from there or whatever, but
It's probably.
I do think though they got a nice haul from San Diego they got that LeMahieu catching prospect. That who did the Padres get? They traded someone for Mejia.
Right. I can't think of who it is at this moment. He was involved in a different trade.
It was another deal. I'll look it up.
And then we talked about this on the show before. The other guy that the Padres got.
Brad Hand.
Oh, right. I did hear that. I do remember that. But the other guy that the Padres got was Yu Darvish. Right. Are you upset over Yu Darvish not becoming a Yankee?
No, not even a little bit, man. I mean, is he a great pitcher? Did he have a Cy Young caliber year? Literally, yeah. I mean, yeah. But the money, it's. I mean, no, I'm not.
There's just something about that guy that I don't trust. I don't know what it is. You know, there's just some guys that you don't. It goes beyond the numbers where you're just like, I don't want him here. And what did his contract look like?
Good. It's a lot of money. Contract 6 years, $126 million.
What's left on that? 3, I think.
He's a free agent 2020. Yeah, 2024 free agent.
So I believe that's what I think he's owed about $60 million. You know.
Well, I mean, you look at the yearly, it's $21 million a year. Did you want to sign a guy that was going to take up $21 million a year when you seem to have a salary cap? I guess with this luxury tax, it's a new salary cap. So.
I guess I'm not allowed to search you without it auto-correcting to the word YOU.
Okay.
So that's delaying.
I mean, you know, you look at his numbers. 2018, he posted a 4.95 ERA, 2019 a 3.98, and then 2020 this year, 2.01. So, I mean, he had a great
the
year
contract was front-loaded. He's due 22, 19, and 18 in the last 3 years of the deal. It's not outlandish. I don't know, but I'm just not a big Yu Darvish guy, so I'm not upset over that.
I am a big short-term commitment guy because, see, that's the thing. If you're not going to get LeMahieu, then I think this year, if you are going to sign anybody, it's going to be someone for a short-term commitment. Would you think so?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
like
if you look at,
would you say a Didi for 2 years?
No, I don't even want Didi for 2 years. I was somebody that I wanted to find a way to bring him back after after 2019, but no, we're past that now. I'm sorry.
I'm in agreement. No, I agree. I fucking agree with you, man. I'm just trying to think of like, does this team make a move?
I'm looking at Darvish's numbers, and they're pretty. I mean, he's been here. He's been in the big league since 2012. He's only had an ERA over 4 twice. Then I mean, if that type of guy was on the free agent market, and what he's getting, I mean, I don't know.
He did have a personal catcher attached in that deal.
I know that's what that I did. I saw that his personal catcher was traded with them. Yeah. I don't know. That is something that does kind of scare me about the guy. So
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, you wish for the Padres that they'd have Clevenger in that rotation. That's a solid rotation because apparently they have some guys. I don't know much about the Padres, but they have some guys already in that rotation that were pretty decent to go with Snell and Darvish.
He's been fairly healthy outside of 2018. Speaking of Darvish, I mean, I don't know. I just got to, if Cashman passed on him because he didn't like the parameters of the deal, that's one thing. If he's sleeping on the fact that Darvish was available, that's another thing. I mean,
Well,
I
let's
got
see
it.
who he was traded for.
Again, like, I'm not even big into Yankee prospects, let alone other teams' prospects. But as from what I understand is that there weren't a lot of top guys moved in that deal.
Zach Davies, right-handed pitcher, 4 prospects: Owen Cassie, Asmel Mena, Reginald Preciado, and Yesan Santana. So it's a bunch of prospects in the deal, but apparently one of them's grade A. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
Apparently nothing, bro. I saw somebody tweet that the Yankees offseason has gotten they're giving the Yankees offseason an F. But I mean, we're sitting here on January 2nd. Outside of the Padres making a couple of deals, all the major free agents are still sitting out there. I mean, I would give it an incomplete. I wouldn't give it an F.
Yeah, you can't grade it yet. It's not over.
Yeah, it's not over, but I think something that needs to be over. And this is our first show of 2021, and I wanted to start it off positively, leave a lot of the negativity in 2020. So we decided that we were going to air out. I know Festivus was a couple weeks ago. Air out your grievances, but we're going to do that today. I came up with a top 5 list. I think Ryan's got a few of his own of things that Yankee fans need to stop doing. And I think it benefits all of us as a collective unit. And this topic could have, would have, should have been on there, but I think it needs its own separate segment as of right now. I'm parched, even though I need a little.
You're parched? What are you drinking over there? I might go grab. I was about to go grab water, but I will.
I need a little Gatorade action.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I'm a little parched too. So you got 5 solid? You got 5 solid ones, huh? I
actually have 6, and this one is going to be one of all
of
their own.
I have really
let's get into this first, because I want to debate this completely separately from the list.
Yeah.
And it's the Jeter versus A-Rod debate.
What about it?
Well, listen, hear me out, brother. Hear me out.
I'll hear you. I'm hearing you, bro.
I think as Yankee fans, we need to stop with the A-Rod is better than Jeter tweets. We have to stop with it. Now, I don't know why you're laughing, but if you're laughing because, why are you laughing?
I find it funny that, it's gotten to the point that, we're calling it out. Because I think it deserves to be addressed, this topic. So that's why I'm laughing,
have you seen?
Because did you watch the New Year's special with J-Lo performed, and who was there?
A-Rod.
I
didn't see it, but I know he was there.
His phone out, so, he was filming the whole thing.
So you've seen the meme, the self-made meme going around: $600 stimulus, $2,000 stimulus. Yes. Okay, so. This is how this all got brought back into life. Somebody did the $600 stimulus with a picture of Jeter, and they did the $2,000 stimulus with a picture of.
Did it get a lot of likes? Did it get likes?
It kind of got. I think it got ratioed a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't really follow up on it because I said my piece on it, and I've been battling 2 days now about it, and this is where I stand on it. Guys, girls of Yankee Twitter, if you listen to this pod, we got to stop with the A-Rod is better than Jeter tweets, okay? I'm not going to sit here, and if I had a son, I'll be honest with you, if I had a son, his name would have been Derek, My wife and I decided upon that if we had a boy, his name would have been Derek, because Derek Jeter is my favorite baseball player of all time. So I'm not going to hide the fact that I love Derek Jeter. But I'm also not going to be an idiot and tell you that Derek Jeter was a better baseball player than Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez should have gone down as the best player in the history of Major League Baseball. That's just a fact. The reason why A-Rod is not going down as the best player in Major League Baseball is because the guy was so insecure about how great he was that he shot a needle in his ass. So let's be realistic about that. But still, pure talent, what they did on the field, A-Rod is a better baseball player than Derek Jeter. But so why, Christian? Why do we need to stop with the A-Rod is better than Jeter tweets if it's true that A-Rod is better than Derek Jeter? Because here's why, people. What is the point? Why are you doing it? And I even tweeted that today. What is the point behind it? What is the reasoning for it? I did not get a straight answer, Ryan. I didn't get a straight answer. Why? Because I know what the reason is for it. It's to fucking stir up shit on social media. That's all it is. You and I both know. We're smart enough to know, and I think a lot of the fans that listen to this show are smart enough to know that there's people out there that they like to poke holes in Derek Jeter's game. Tell you he's overrated. He's not as good as people think that he is. Blah, blah, fucking blah. We've heard about how bad he was as a defensive player. Analytics, right. Okay, yeah. Wrong. Okay. We know that this whole A-Rod is better than Jeter shit is not to pump up A-Rod, because if it was, that's one thing. It's to diminish what Derek Jeter did. And I got into an argument with somebody over this today and said, oh, how could you argue with A-Rod being better with blah, 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 blah. And I said, dude, I'm not arguing that A-Rod's not better, because he is. Why do we need to bring down Derek Jeter? I would expect this shit out of 29 other fan bases. I shouldn't expect this out of the Yankee fan base. Why people in our own fan base, and we'll get to this shortly. 27 rings. Who helped bring 5 of them here? So you like to shout that shit, but one of the guys that was a key component to bringing 5 of them here, you want to try to bring the guy down whenever you get an opportunity to. And I just don't get it. And then I come to find out that this kid is 16 years old. Bro, did you see the guy play baseball? Did you? Because you were fucking 11 when he retired. So no, you didn't see the guy play baseball. So maybe you should sit this one out. I don't get, Ryan. Yeah. I for the life of me, I don't get it. That's my whole point behind it.
You just answered it though, buddy. You just answered it. You just answered why. It's that they're looking at the numbers. They didn't experience. They didn't see it with their eyes. They didn't see Derek Jeter, because, the argument of Derek Jeter versus A-Rod, it's the same. You could break down of why analytics shouldn't be the end all be all of measurement, is that when you look at Derek Jeter as an eye test type of guy and you break down his postseason numbers, and what he represented for the New York Yankees, it's not even a comparison. You could say, is A-Rod better than Derek Jeter? Yeah. If you look at his numbers analytically, sure. He's 100%. And not even close. Take steroids out of the equation too.
I tested too, dude. He's a better baseball player than Derek Jeter.
Yeah, he is. He's better. He's just as good, if not a better fielder. And he was a power hitter with he hit for average and he drove in more runs. He was a better player than Derek Jeter. But you look at what Derek Jeter represented and you break down, he had A-Rod and Derek Jeter, their careers are over. Jeter had more postseason home runs than A-Rod. He had a higher on-base percentage than A-Rod in the postseason. So that's what Derek Jeter represented. It wasn't the analytics. It wasn't the sabermetrics of a player. Sure, did he not cover as much ground as some other fucking good fielders? I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Because I wasn't measuring that. We weren't measuring. Yeah, I'm a 7 out of 10. I'm probably at a 6.3 now. I should have refilled before the pod. But Derek Jeter, it's more than just versus A-Rod in a regular season comparison. It's the player and what he represented and the location of where he played and how he presented himself and represented the Yankees, blah blah blah. 7 out of 10. Jeter, A-Rod, I don't like the comparison.
But
I don't like it.
For me, tweeting that brings up one thing. To me, it just all it is when you tweet something like that, Jeter is better or A-Rod is better than Jeter. What you're trying to do is start the conversation about how Derek Jeter wasn't as good as people think that he is. Like people like me,
Sure.
You're trying to start that conversation and have that argument that he wasn't as good as what people think that he was, which is wrong.
Dead on. Agreed.
And then I had a little conversation with somebody that I respect. She has her own podcast. I respect her opinions, respect her views. But she's saying, well, when somebody says something like that, how is that a knock on Derek Jeter? How is that bringing down Derek Jeter? And she didn't quite get it. And I'm not, this is maybe if this was Twitter, people would call this a subtweet. I'll give her many of you that follow the show probably know her too. It's at She Does It. She has the Breaking Balls Pod, which is a fantastic name for a fucking baseball podcast. So here I go shouting out other people, even though people probably don't shout us out, but hey, it is what it is, right? And I get, and like I said, I respect her opinion. I respect her views on everything. She's an A-Rod person. I get it. Like I'm a Jeter guy. She's an A-Rod person. Fine. That's all well and good. And how she didn't understand how bringing that up brings down Derek Jeter, because here's what I think everybody's missing is when you say that, you're allowing people to come in and then argue for A-Rod about why Jeter wasn't as good. Or bring up any reason why Jeter isn't as good as other people that hold him in such high regard. Look, these things don't have to be mutually exclusive. Derek Jeter is one of the greatest Yankees of all time, but A-Rod was a better baseball player than him. It's just a fact. But why do we need to constantly go back to this, to have this A-Rod is better than Jeter conversation? This isn't the LeBron versus MJ shit, because those are two different fan bases.
They played in two different times too.
Two different fan bases, two different eras. That's just a completely different thing. This is like a civil war amongst Yankee fans. And what are we getting out of it? What are we getting out of it? Other than to try to knock down a guy off his pedestal, which he belongs on.
Yeah.
How many guys in the history of Major League Baseball have more hits than Derek Jeter? Can you count them? 5. 5 guys have more hits in the history of this game than Derek Jeter. So, and again, I'm going to say it. A-Rod was a better player, but why do we need to take the time to tweet that to knock Derek Jeter down? Look, Ryan, here's where I'll stand on this. If A-Rod never played for the Yankees, and he stayed his entire career in Seattle, and he had Seattle Mariner fans tweeting that, tip of the cap. He was a better baseball player. No argument. And there's not even anything to say because it's true. And it's Seattle guys taking up for their guy over Derek Jeter. I get it. I completely understand it. But why, in our own fan base, do we have to cause this civil war? Why? That's what I don't get.
Yeah. No, I'm in complete agreement. There's no need for it. There's no room for it. There's bigger fish to fry.
And
we got bigger things to worry about.
And what I'm legitimately scared of in this whole debate is that it's being driven by people that didn't get the full context of what Derek Jeter is. So that's why they bring it up, because they're just sitting there looking at numbers. Because anybody that actually sat there and watched these two guys play day in, day out knows A-Rod is better and knows that if you're a Yankee fan, there's no point in bringing up the conversation because it just leads to negative talk about a guy that doesn't need his legacy fucking tarnished at all. Period. Stop. To borrow it from Craig Carton. Boom. Done.
Boom.
So that goes beyond the the list that I have compiled. I felt it just needed its own thing. That you just got to stop. Enough with the A-Rod is better than Jeter tweets. We get it. Nobody likes Jeter more than I do. Would have named my kid after the fucking guy, for Christ's sake, had I had a son. I'm willing to admit, because it's true that A-Rod is better, but I'm also telling you people, there's no point in the debate. There's no point in it.
Was Alex a possibility? Alex? A-Rod?
No, not a possibility.
It was just Derek.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, as a New Year's resolution, these are now my these are just things that actually I want to bring this up because earlier in the week it was kind of reported that Masahiro Tanaka had said that he did not want to play for any other Major League ball club except the Yankees. He would go back to Japan. He kind of refuted that a little bit today with a tweet saying that he was just limiting more to what the offers, who was interested in him more so than what he was interested in doing. But I also kind of believe part of the original report that he's not interested in playing for a non-contending team. I think for Tanaka to stay in America at this point in his career with the money that he's made, he's going to have to go to a team that's going to be in contention to win a title this year.
Yeah, I think it comes down to is that what he wants to play for? Or does I agree with that. I think that if he is going to play Major League Baseball, it will be for a contender, but he could be the ace of the Royals if he wants to be, right?
Yeah, but again, I just don't see Tanaka wanting to do something.
I agree.
Like that.
I agree. But I think I think that it's still a possibility, and you know, I love that initial report that it was Yankees or Japan. I thought that, you know, showed, you know, you even kind of alluded to that a couple of weeks ago. We talked about this, that you kind of felt that if it's not the Yankees, that it would be Japan. And, you know, but it's smart. I thought from a business standpoint, it was smart for him to come out and kind of refute that and say, hey, look, I'm still out here, guys. I'm still willing to play for someone other than the New York Yankees. So keep the offers coming, you know?
Yeah, man. So I still think that there's three teams that the Masahiro Tanaka is going to play for in 2021: the Rakuten Eagles, the New York Yankees, or the New York Mets.
Ooh, I got to throw in the Dodgers in there and the Angels.
The only reason I don't put the Angels is because Ohtani's there, and I don't think he wants to deal with that.
Yeah, you're right. He might not want that.
So those are my three teams that if Tanaka will be with one of those three teams. That's my prediction. I'd like him to come back. I like Tanaka to come back on a 2-year deal, team friendly, maybe $22-25 million, 2 years. I think the Yankees can live with that.
That's a lot.
What, to pay the guy $13 million a year?
Yeah, I'm trying to look at it from their perspective. That's a
Stop
lot of money
being bitches and fucking let's go. How about that one?
Dude, I know. I don't like the mindset that it seems that they're in, but I'm not gonna. You can't say that because last offseason they got Garrett Cole, right? They went out and signed someone to the biggest contract for a pitcher ever, right?
Yeah. Now we're cutting. We're cutting costs.
So, but
and I get it. I get it.
COVID.
Like.
That's what it looks like. But right. But it's still not. But like we've said, the big names haven't been signed yet, so we can't. It looks that way though, which it's shitty. But we can't say that until this thing's wrapped up. But it looks that way, and that's not good.
Look, he who shall not be named got a $34 million 2-year deal to suck. Okay, I can live with the Yankees giving Tanaka 2 for $25. I can live with that. But again, as we always say, Tanaka cannot be a number 2 or number 3. At this point, Tanaka's got to be your number 5. Fill in the blanks in between him and Cole.
Yep.
So, we got that out of the way. I think we've touched upon everything. All right. One more thing. Finally got around to signing up for HBO Max in between Christmas and New Year. Because this is what's so goddamn frustrating about HBO Max. Why don't you have a fucking app on a smart TV?
Yeah, you gotta have the apps.
Gotta have apps.
Smart television. Yeah, no, you have to. You got to go.
So I moved the PlayStation out of the man cave and I put it in the living room so my wife.
So it's on HBO is an app on the PlayStation though.
See.
Okay.
And for people that have tweeted me that I don't want to pay for it. If you already paying, because a lot of people don't really know this. If you're already paying for HBO through your cable provider, HBO Max is free, which is nice. At least you're getting something. You know, a lot of these streaming services like to jam you. At least, you know, if you're already paying for HBO through your cable provider, HBO Max is free. But there's two reasons why I signed up for HBO Max. Well, you know, it's free, number one. And actually, number two is I wanted to see the CC Sabathia documentary. Just fantastic. Any Yankee fan, any baseball fan, any fan of CC Sabathia needs to take, I think it ran like 67 minutes, needs to take that time and actually sit down and watch it. The second half of I would say the last half hour plus is pretty much about his Yankee career, and the rest is about his life leading up to that. We knew back in 2015 how CC was messed up and he was dealing with alcoholism, and he you know, the Yankees were one and done. That was the year they got knocked out in a wild card game by the Astros. But he said, I'm not going to be on the postseason roster because I have to go to rehab, which we knew. But this documentary really goes into a lot of detail about a lot of stuff about how bad he truly was during that time in his life. And it goes even beyond I don't know if you remember the photo of him. I think they were in Toronto, maybe Baltimore, when he was out on a balcony smoking weed. There's a picture taken of him.
Yeah. I remember that.
There was a lot. That was
New
like
Orleans?
No, because I believe that it happened during the season, if I'm not.
Okay.
But then again, that doesn't make any sense. Like, wouldn't he gotten in trouble for that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I might not have been paying. I wasn't paying fully attention all the way through.
Yeah. I remember the picture.
You know, you're trying to watch a TV. You're trying to watch a documentary with an 8-month-old on your lap. It's you know, tough. You might miss a part or two. But anyway, so you really, even as closely as we followed this team and as, you know, as much as we try to know what's going on, they really like pulled back the curtain on some of the stuff that he was really. And
drop something.
Yeah, well, the phone's busted anyway, so I mean.
Oh, you drop your phone? Yeah.
And I want to read this quote. As I was saying, it really goes into detail, and it really, I mean, look, man, I make no bones about it. I don't really hide things. I you know, I grew up with an alcoholic as a father. You know, luckily as he's gotten older, he's kind of, you know, repaired that part of his life, and we, you know. So I get it, man. Like, I understand what CC was going through, and I understand what his wife and his kids were going through. So that kind of hit home for me. But you kind of really didn't know how bad it truly was until you kind of see this documentary. And credit to CC for getting his shit together and you know, doing it for himself and his family, man. But we all remember his last outing in the 2019 ALCS, where the guy literally pitched until his arm fell off. And this was my favorite part of the documentary. He's in the, God damn it, I hit the top of Twitter, and it scrolled back up after
you
I
lost
had
the quote.
Yes, I did lose the quote.
Oh man,
actually, it's right here.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. And they got him in the car with his wife the day after the game. And this is what CC had to say. I'm more sad about us getting our asses kicked by these fucking assholes than I am not being able to pitch. That was CC Sabathia the day after his last professional outing in the 2019 ALCS. And if that doesn't sum up what this guy meant to this team and the kind of competitor that he was, I don't know what will. I miss CC. I know he's been around the organization. I'd like to see him in uniform again somehow. I don't think that's really something he wants to do at this point in his life, but
I gotta check that out.
I think the Yankees can use him. And the other thing that I signed up for Max for was to watch Wonder Woman 84, which fucking sucked.
Everybody's saying just awful, huh?
It was pretty bad. And before anybody wants to chime in that about other shit, I loved the original Wonder Woman. I didn't think it. Let me say this: I didn't think it was a great movie, the original Wonder Woman with Gal Gadot. However you say her name, I believe that's how you say it, right?
That's it. Yeah, I think so.
But she was fantastic in that movie. She carried that movie. She was the best part of Justice League. She was great in Batman vs Superman. But this movie was it was atrocious. It was awful. It was just a complete miss. And I tweeted that they put it on Max for free because no one would pay to see this bullshit. And I got people coming back at me. It was the biggest opening of the pandemic. Okay, like 4 fucking movies came out.
I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, there's no competition.
And it's Wonder Woman on Christmas. So like, let's calm down. That doesn't make it a good movie. Okay.
No.
So if you haven't seen Wonder Woman 84 yet, I always tell people, make your own bones about something and go out of you want to form your own opinion, go see it. Because I had already heard from several people that I trust their opinions that it sucked, but I said, I'm still going to watch it. I still want to make my own opinion about it. And it sucked. So at least I know for my own facts now that it sucked.
Right.
And segueing into the final segment of the show, what indeed sucks. These are things that suck and that Yankee fans need to stop doing in 2021. Let's run through Twitter first. We'll give some shout outs to our boy Don Sicario. He hates when fans bash a player and then they're followed by trade suggestions like we should trade this player for somebody else's stud player. Our buddy Patrick, Happy New Year, buddy. His biggest hate is when fans put down the team before the first pitch has even been thrown. At King DJ _5297 says he hates when we actively root against people on the team, which that is
yes. Don't like that.
At DJ Minard Inc. _ when a player like Garrett Cole has literally a small slump and people want to run him out of town. Shit is annoying as hell. Yes, I think I had a coronary discussing that several times on this show. The GWK21 Kobani Gold. You guys have mentioned it a million times and we'll mention it 1,000,001. If George were alive, it drives me nuts. Yes. And finally, at Fire Cashman, and you'll see where he's going in a minute, giving Cashman a pass for the entire decade when he hasn't shown that he can win squat without the unlimited pockets of George or the talent accumulated by Stick Michael.
Yeah. All right. Not a fan.
Not a fan of B Cash, huh? Nah, well, when your handle is Fire Cashman.
Right. It makes sense.
So do you want to kick this off, Ryan?
Look, I have one that always stands out. You could look at a player like Giancarlo Stanton as the main example. It's when you get someone. This is really the main thing. I got a couple that we could break down too, but when you get a new player, you have to understand. I get it; they're making a boatload of money. Giancarlo Stanton is making so much money to play a game. But at the end of the day, he is still, right? He's still human. So you have to give him that bit of time to get comfortable. And I'm by him, I mean a new Yankee. Give them just a little bit more time to, just to get comfortable. Because it seems like, and this is just a pet peeve, it seems like a lot of the time fans seem to measure a baseball season as if it were like a football season where it's 16 games, but it's really 162 games. It's a lot of games. It's a lot of time to really get into the swing of things. So that's really, Christian, man. That's really, I got a couple more, but that's the big one. That's the number one by a long shot.
Right, like how we're booing friggin' Giancarlo Stanton after his first game in pinstripes.
And I'm not
saying
saying don't boo. I'm not saying don't boo. I'm saying don't boo in April. Don't boo 3 games into the season, which was and I'm not just speaking out of my ass. That was the case because I think he had that great first game in Toronto. I think he had 2 home runs in that game. I know he had one against Hap, and then I think he had another one against Clippard. And then when they came home, I believe he had a 4 strikeout game in his first game. And then from that moment on, then the game after that, I think he had another clunk, and then the fans started to boo him. That to me is the biggest thing that if I had any wish or to make, it would be to just get rid of that the jump the gun fan, get out of here.
All right. I'm going to start with number 5 on my list.
Yeah.
We're going to work all the way to number 1 here. Number 5. You have to stop with the re-sign DJ tweets under serious tweets that the team puts out. Okay. This shit pisses me off to no end because it just shows an utter lack of fucking class. Howard Rubenstein died earlier in the week. He was a longtime friend of George Steinbrenner, a big, PR guy in New York City, very well respected. And scroll down, re-sign DJ. Cool, announce DJ, sign DJ. Is there something fucking wrong with you people? The Yankees are expressing condolences to a man that just died, and you want to be cute and fucking edgy to tweet sign DJ underneath this fucking tweeted condolence? Get the fuck out of here, seriously. And this all really started for me back last season when they tweeted a picture of Boone wearing a ribbon, and I believe it was in support of some charity or something for children that had cancer, and some guy called fucking Boone a cancer because he made the wrong move in a game. And I'm like, what is fucking wrong with you? Like, this is not the time and place for this shit. The Yankees signed that guy Socrates, whatever the fuck, and you want to tweet under it, cool, sign DJ, fine. That's the place to do it. That's where you can have a little fun, but not some guy that dies. Then you can be cute and edgy with, sign DJ, cool, announce DJ. Come on, guys. Like, this is why people fucking hate us. Like, that's like, if I wasn't a Yankee fan and I had this idea that Yankee fans were fucking gutter trash, all I would have to do is go on to fucking the official Yankee Twitter account, go on to any tweet of any type of serious nature, click, boom, there'd be 10 responses right there of how I would have my point proven.
Agreed. Pet peeve.
Number 4, and this is a new one that just jumped onto the list, which kind of allowed the Jeter A-Rod thing to be its own separate debate, is the trade simulator. Can we fucking stop with it, please?
That was one of mine, too. That was one of mine. I swear.
This trade simulator is such garbage. It's not even funny to me because all it is, it's a video game. It's a video game trade. That's what it is. You're assigning value to things. You're trying to see how it matches up. Yeah, and it's fun, but people in the real, if you're trying to have a little fun with it, it's fine. But I think it's also lived past its point of usefulness. If that's a usefulness, is that a word?
Yeah.
You're 7 out of 10 drunk, so you'll agree with anything right now.
Usefulness is a word for sure.
I think so. But like, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do that. And I've sent you guys some of these trades, and they're fucking bonkers because nobody in their right mind would ever really do any of these trades. I mean, Garrett Cole, and I don't even understand it. Garrett Cole, first of all, you can't even trade Garrett Cole in one of these things. They don't allow you to put him in it. And he's got a negative value. So is that just because of the money? Obviously, nobody thinks Garrett Cole's a negative value player, right? So I don't even understand it. But then you look at it and you're like, okay, how can we get Lindor and Carrasco on this team? And then you just start fucking pulling shit out of their ass. And, of course, Adam Ottavino's got to be in every one of these trades.
Yep.
So meanwhile, you're telling me that the Indians don't want, Francisco Lindor because they can't afford him. But let's take Adam Ottavino, who sucks, and we'll take his $9 million salary. So, guys, it's time to put the trade simulator to bed.
Yep.
Number 3, wanting to be right all the time. And this goes back to what some of the people had said earlier. This is Don Sicario kind of alluded to it when he said, this guy sucks, but let's trade him for an ace, right? It kind of leads into what I'm saying is that a lot of fans, Stan sucks in the postseason, right? That's what we learned about him after 2018. So instead of rooting for the guy to be good or rooting for him to have a great postseason like he did in 2020, we just want to be right about the fact that he sucks and that he strikes out all the time. And how is that productive as a Yankee fan? You're almost rooting against a player on your own team. The Yankees have a better chance of winning with John Carl. You think Stan sucks, right? Let's just say you're Ryan. You think Stan sucks. Sucks, right? Stan hits 45 fucking home runs, has 1,000 OPS in the postseason. The Yankees have a better chance of winning the World Series because of that, or would you rather be right that he hits 220 and has and he gets benched because he struck out 9 of his first 10 at bats in the playoffs?
Yeah, he still sucks. He still sucks though.
So you'd rather be right,
again, bro. You're pulling out things like I struggled with this. I found a few, and same thing with this trade simulator. I agree with that. This is a fucking nail on the head one, dude.
Number 2, 27 rings. We got to give up the 27 rings argument. I love the Yankees history. I will sit there and watch documentaries on their history. I love it. I love the history. But as an argument to why we're the best, it means nothing. I like to, when we're arguing other fan bases, what does it mean? Like, we're arguing against the Red Sox. They've won 4 World Series since 2004. We have 1. Who's been better recently? They have. That's all that matters to me. And it's like some badge of honor, 27 rings. And it just seems like it's the retort for the most uneducated Yankee fan. Like somebody that couldn't pick Gio Urshela out of a fucking lineup is the one that's coming up with the 27 rings shit. And again, it's kind of like the Jeter A-Rod shit. I'm willing to admit that A-Rod is better. Just like I'm willing to say that I love the Yankees history. I love that this team has won 27 world championships. But 22 of them don't mean anything to me. I wasn't on this earth. I didn't get to enjoy any of them. Do I like going back and watching old tapes, going back watching docs on it? Yeah, I love it. It's fun. It's your team. You want to know the team's history. But I don't claim any of it. And then we got to stop with it. 27 rings. It just makes it sound stupid. Oh, 27 rings, 27 rings. Oh, it's tired. You know what I want to be saying? I want to be saying 28. I got my 28th this year. I got my 29th this year. Then I can talk 30. Some shit. 30.
Get the 3-0.
Get the dirty 30.
That's a great point, and that's kind of, I don't think he'll agree with me, but that's why I don't love the new Yankee Stadium, is because they did what the old stadium was, which was a representation, and it honored the past more than, let's just look, the past was incredible, but we need to kind of let it go, and we need to create something new here because it's too far in the past to hold on to it anymore. And
yeah, 27 didn't come last year.
Right.
It came now. We're going on 12 years that we haven't won it. Okay.
Yeah. So,
but again, not to get debate Yankee Stadium. I like that we honor our history. I like when I walk in there that I know that I'm at the home of the New York Yankees. But also, as fans, like, I don't want to be like, oh, look, we won in 1943. Shut the fuck up. You weren't alive. Like, what are you bragging about that for?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in total agreement.
Number 1, if you don't know what it is and you ain't paying attention.
Oh, I know exactly what it is. Say it.
If George were alive. If George was alive. Guys, he's dead all day. He's been dead since 2010. We got to let the man fucking rest in peace already. It's 2021. Let the man go. If you don't like the way Hal runs a team, then just say, I don't like the way Hal runs a team. Not everything needs to start with, well, if George were alive. George is not alive. It's time to let it go. Maybe that was fine in 2012 or 2013, but he's not here anymore. Like if Hal, knock on wood, Hal lives a long, healthy life, but he dies. How old is Hal Steinbrenner? Let me look that up real quick.
I'll look it up. Keep going.
Let's say Hal's in his 50s right now, right? I don't know how old Hal is, but let's say
he's 55.
Give me that age.
51.
Wow, young guy. But let's give Hal let's give Hal another 35 years on this earth.
Go for it. And
somehow in those 35 years, they don't sell the team. He leaves it to his kids. Now that we're in a third generation of Steinbrenner running the Yankees, if that Steinbrenner runs a team like Hal did, are we still going to have to hear, well, if George were alive? Because now not only is George dead, but his son is dead too. I mean, how much longer do we have to keep going with that?
You're right, man. How long does that statement, it's still being said? How long does it last?
Look, I get it. And you probably heard a lot of this before on this show when I've ranted about this. Hal runs the team, how Hal runs the team. George ran the team, how George ran the team. It's okay to look back at George and say, I like George's style better. But it doesn't need to be brought up every time. If we get DJ and don't get Bauer, and I know a lot of fans want both, you can't, well, if George were alive. Yeah, well, George got blackballed from baseball, and the Yankees became a dynasty again because he wasn't around to fuck shit up, too. Do we need to bring that up? Do we need to bring that up as well? If George were alive? I mean, come on, that's part of that's part of the story, is it not?
It is. No, it is. He was banned.
I mean, come on, guys. If George were alive, but he's not, okay? Now, how would you feel if your dad owned the Yankees and everybody was like, well, if, you're just taking you as an example because if Ryan's dad was alive. Your dad is alive, but I'm just saying.
He is. Right. If he only. Yeah, no, it wouldn't feel great.
You wouldn't want to hear that shit anymore because not even like to the point of like, I'm not doing a good as job as my dad. She's like, out of respect for my father, let the guy fucking rest in peace.
Right.
Let him rest in peace. Mm-hmm. You love the guy so much. Let him rest in peace. The Yankees went out. They got him his final ring. He died. And I hate to be so callous about it, but that's it. He's done. It's over with. I mean, we all have fond memory of George.
A long fucking time ago.
We interviewed Ron Bloomberg, who loved George Steinbrenner, and I'm sure a lot of players will echo a lot of the same sentiments Ron Bloomberg did about George. But come on, I'm sure if I brought up the George were alive shit with Ron, he'd have a fucking heart attack about it.
Yeah, probably.
So, hey, I laid it out. Okay. Those. We got to stop doing that shit. Let's be better fans this year. Let's do it. We want to have a better 2021. I want to have a better 2021. We need to be better Yankee fans in 2021. Stop laying back on all this, on his junk, this garbage.
Yeah.
You want to, Derek Jeter. And how many times has Derek Jeter gone out of his way to say, and it could be lip service, the greatest fan base in the world. Fucking prove it. Stop with this shit. But again, a lot of you think A-Rod is better, which he is. But there's no need to fucking keep tweeting about it. Right? Right. Boom. I think we're done here.
Right.
Yes?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So give me on a scale of 1 to 10. How are you right now? Coming down?
Probably. Yeah, I'm down, dude. I'm debating whether or not I'm going to have another drink.
Oh, boy.
I
should have went down. I should have went downstairs and pop open a couple of Bud Light seltzers while I was on this.
Yeah, that would have been cool. That'd be nice. No, I'm gonna have another drink. And I'll be right back into it.
What are you gonna do?
But I'm down.
I mean, it's 10:18. What are you gonna do tonight?
Drink until I fall asleep.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Why not?
But hopefully Chris will be back next week. He was just enjoying a little family time, which we hope all of you had the opportunity to do over the course of the last couple of weeks. Enjoy the holidays, but unfortunately, Monday brings back reality and a lot back to work for a lot of people. And I hate saying this, but this is really now the most depressing time of the year. And people that have seasonal affective disorder, this is when and I'll admit that I have it. It really fucking hits the Monday after New Year, whenever that return to work date is, because it's just depressing. It's just dark outside. It's dark at 4:30. At least from like Thanksgiving on, you driving down the street, shit's lit up, Christmas lights are out. You know, I'm not into basketball. I'm not into hockey. There's no sports. I mean, you know, when you hear this on Monday morning, maybe I'll have another Giant game to look forward to. Maybe I won't, you know, but it's football. It's one day a week.
Yeah.
So really, until we get down to Florida and we can see little pitchers and catchers, we really have a 6 weeks of just fucking depression around here. At least that's how I feel about it.
No, you're right, man. When you put it that way, it is that lull period.
You know, and it's just like you put so much into the holidays, and then it's just like January.
You got the kid now, though. You got the kid to hold you over.
That's true.
For that, so you should be good.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying though, it still sucks.
Yeah,
driving around at 4:00 in the fucking pitch dark.
Yeah, dark out.
You know, and I know people in Florida have to deal with that shit too. But at least, you know, I'm seeing pictures of people that I know down at the fucking beach today. Like, fuck you. It was it was like 35 degrees today. But cool. I don't even know if I announced the right number of the show at the beginning of the show, but who knows?
208?
208, right? That was right.
I think it's 208. I don't know. That's a lot, man. We've been doing this shit a long time.
We have
208. Yeah.
I feel like that was a popular room number in our high school. Like a lot of people had class in room 208.
Oh yeah. 208. I had a class in 208 or 205. Whatever. What are you gonna do? Hey, though.
We're gonna sign off here. We're gonna thank everybody for listening to episode 208 of the NYY Sports Talk podcast. Again, we want to wish everybody a very happy New Year. Hopefully, things will turn around not only for the world but for the club that we listen to, or we're here talking about every week, the New York Yankees. I hope this is the beginning of big things for them. Thank you for your continued support. Please follow us on Twitter at NYY Sports Talk. Stat Guy Rye.
Go Yanks.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.